Well, David, what would you? Rabbi Mary will be coming on, and I'm happy for that. Rabbi Norman will not be here today.
Right.
He's in transit. David, would you like to read your opening missal?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Mark. And today I'm going to read a poem that has to do with a certain type of star. It was written by a poet some long time ago. And there are stars that just shine in the sky. And there are stars that change in brightness, stars that get brighter and then fainter. T Coronae Borealis, which we're all watching for these days, is one of those stars. But there are a whole bunch of them. And this poet wrote a poem called Eleanor, and it was really a love story about a girl named Eleanor. And it got a terrible, terrible review. And it was mean, it was self-centered, it was sarcastic, but it upset the poet so much that he stopped writing for,
Oh no.
he stopped publishing poetry for almost 10 years.
Oh,
And his friends thought he might actually be ready to commit suicide. He was so upset by it. He took the review so badly. What I wanted to say is that the reviewers are long since gone, but there is no one in the world who has not heard of Alfred Tennyson.
Oh.
And this is a part of the poem Eleanor, and it's about variable stars. Tennyson knew all about variable stars. As though a star in inmost heaven set, even while we gaze on it, should slowly round his orb and slowly grow to a full face, there like a sun remain fixed, then as slowly fade again and draw itself to what it was before, so full, so deep, so slow. He knew how to end a poem, didn't he?
Beautiful.
oh, thank you, David. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
How are you?
Okay. And you?
Just fine, thank you.
Good, good, good. Well, let me read the opening prayer for us so that I can, and then we can get started. I'll read it in English today. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. You have sanctified us through your commandments and commanded us to busy ourselves in things of Torah. Amen.
Amen.
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we read through Deuteronomy 8 all the way through the end of verse 20?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Did anyone have any other comments about that? You may have thought a little bit about it, or any other ideas come to mind. We spoke at length about manna,
We did.
and if you will, as food for thought, in addition to physical eating.
Yeah.
And any other comments about it? We also spoke about the nature of man, that we tend to feel that we are it, that everything we do is by our own hands. And we often forget to thank God for giving us the ability to do those with our own hands. A little humble behavior, a little humility goes a long way. So we are ready to begin. And any other comments about last week? Okay. Then what we will do is we'll start with Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse chapter 9, verse 1.
Yeah.
Verse
I'll
9. Yes, go ahead, Donna. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get rolling. Okay, hear, O Israel, you are about to cross the Jordan to go in and dispossess nations greater and more populous than you, great cities with walls sky high, a people great and tall, the Ananites of the
Anakites.
Anakites of whom you have knowledge, for you have heard it said, who can stand up to the children of Anak? Know then this day that none other than the Lord your God is crossing at your head, a devouring fire. It is he who will wipe them out. He will subdue them before you, that you may quickly dispossess and destroy them as the Lord promised you. And when the Lord your God has thrust them out from your path, say not to yourselves, the Lord has enabled us to possess this land because of our virtues. It is rather because of the wickedness of those nations that the Lord is disposing them before you. It is not because of your virtues and your rectitude that you will be able to possess their country, but it is because of their wickedness that the Lord your God dispossessing those nations before you, and in order to fulfill the oath that Lord made to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Okay. Any comments? Go ahead. Yes.
That was very well read, I thought.
Yes,
Oh.
Donna, you
Oh,
did a very good job.
Thank you.
Does
Yeah.
anyone have a different translation for verse 2? Can you please read it? Anyone?
Well, I think everybody has something similar. David, do you have something different in your verse too?
It's so slightly different, but
In what way?
Sorry. Verse, yeah, verse 2.
yeah, slightly different, but it was extremely easy to follow because the flow is the same.
Okay,
And
right. But David, would you kindly read your version?
okay, from chapter 9,
Yes, chapter 9, verse 2.
verse 2, we'll start. In fact, I'll go back to Hear, O Israel, thou
You
art
don't
divine.
have to, just read verse 2.
Verse 2.
Okay, a people great and tall, the sons of Anakim, whom thou knowest, and of whom thou hast heard say, who can stand before the sons of Anak?
That's it.
Okay, so is that what you
Anyone
have?
else? Has a different-
John reads out of a different, don't you, John? Is yours different?
Mine's different, yeah.
Okay.
John, why don't you read
The
your?
meaning is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2, can you read yours, John?
Sure. The people here, or I'm sorry, the people there are strong and tall, descendants of the Anakim, whom you know about and have heard people say, who can stand against the Anakim?
Okay. Does anyone remember the word Anakim? It's Anakim. It says, John just read, that they are tall, right?
Right?
Yeah.
They are tall and mighty.
The giants.
They are
That's right.
giants.
They're
That's
giants,
right.
right?
In Hebrew, the word Anak
You
is a
remember?
giant. Do
Okay.
you
Rabbi
remember
Mary is
when that?
asking. Rabbi Mary is asking. Do you remember this in another story?
Right. With the David, right? David and the giants.
Who?
The slingshot.
No, no, no.
Yes, Chris.
We have
You
not
had your hands
arrived
up.
there too. But you're
Chris, you
right.
had
He
your
was
hand
a
up,
tall
please.
and mighty.
Excuse me, Chris had her hand up. Please don't
Yes,
interrupt.
I have a question now. Are we, the Anakites were destroyed, but King David fought.
Guys, don't go to King David. We're going, King David is
Right,
about
but I'm
3
talking
books.
about giants. I'm talking about giants. Were they
Okay, talk
destroyed?
about giants.
And that was a different tribe, or?
But my question is something that we already learned about.
That's right.
Who said that the people were Anakim, that they were tall and they were mighty?
Can I give a hint, Rabbi Mary?
Do whatever you want, Marty.
Okay. Caleb and Joshua, but they didn't, they weren't the words in their mouths. It was someone else or some others.
Who came back to Moshe and said, the people there are Anakim, they are Anakai, they are tall and mighty, and we are not going to able to defeat them.
And the grapes are huge.
No. Those are the other people.
I know.
That's
Okay.
Caleb and Jess. Okay. Do you remember that Moshe sent people to the Canaan land to
Right.
check what kind of land is that?
What?
Anyway, they come back and they said, oh, it's terrible. There are people there that they are Anakim. They are big and tall, and we are like little
Ants.
ants in front of them.
Gosh, yes.
We won't be able to kill them. And when they come back, guess what Moshe and God do to these people and to their families?
Yeah.
Because they felt that they are defeated, that they don't believe that God can help them. These people are tall and mighty. This is not a land that we want to go in. So God destroys them. He opens the land and swallows them. Then he sends the other one, Marty, that you were mentioning, Caleb and Joshua. And what happened then?
Anybody?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I drifted.
After they came and God destroyed them because they didn't believe that God can help them with these tall and mighty and strong people, as they thought that, we would look like ants in front of them. So he destroys these people that say that, and then he sends other people, actually Moshe's friends, Joshua and Caleb. And when they come back, Marty already hinted what happens then. What do they say when they come back?
Right.
What do they say?
Hey, wait a minute, guys. We can do it. God is with us.
Okay, they come back and they said, this is a land of milk and
Honey.
honey.
Yeah.
And they bring with them this enormous grapes, cluster of grapes that was so enormous that two people have to carry them. This is the symbol of the wine today, the wine in Israel.
Okay.
So we saw this sentence already. And obviously, Korach that said these people are tall wasn't wrong, because look what's happened here. This is repeated.
That's right.
And then verse 3, if anyone read.
Go ahead, Donna, if you would read verse 3.
3 is, know then this day that none other than the Lord your God is crossing at your head a devouring fire. It is he who will wipe them out.
That's right.
He will wipe them out. Yeah.
So don't be afraid even of those people that are really, really mighty and tall and big.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is the first spies that went into the land were not wrong. There were people there that were tall and mighty. But at that point, when they say that, you would feel that they are defeated and said, God is nonsense, this land is nothing, it's too tough for us. And that's why they were killed, because they might have convinced the rest of the people that that's the case.
It's
Now,
just
Yes, go
ongoing
ahead.
narrative. Yeah, throughout that I'm seeing in the Torah is this repeating of a theme of either the Israelites, that their doubt in this God. It plays over and over again with Moses going up the hill. They build the golden calf. They see I mean, they witness this miracle, and yet they don't they don't have a relationship with this God yet,
No,
and
they don't trust. Yes, you're
right.
absolutely right.
And it continues, and
Right.
it continues in my life. I mean, it's a very
Yeah.
of the doubt.
Right. The
Right.
issue of the doubt, you're right. And despite all the miracles that God has done, they still say, oh, but the people are too big. And here it says in the recounting of Moshe, hey guys, it happened before that God helped them. God is going to destroy these people, so don't be afraid of them.
Yeah, yeah. And it started with Adam and Eve with the apple. So
I'd
even
like
then,
to
it was like,
I'd like to
oh, okay.
say something in addition. There's and Rabbi Mary mentioned it, and I know you know that I like to look at things in a different light sometimes, and what I'm going to say is slightly different. You don't hear about it so much in this context, and that is if you look at the spies, they lost faith. They lost their faith. And when Rabbi Mary said the spies may be influencing the attitudes of the other Israelites, it dawned on me at that time that it may mean that if somebody loses faith or a group of people lose faith, they may uh, they may cause other people to lose faith.
Right.
And that's what I think Rabbi Mary was getting after, that they would be losing their faith in God, what God had said that God would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And,
at this time, remember that Moshe is telling the story.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And so it's important. So, in other words, a way to summarize it in my mind would be keep your faith.
Yeah.
And be with faith-minded people.
Yes,
That draw, of
that's right.
in life, the majority of I think there's more of the majority are the ones that have maybe no belief or whatever we're getting at here. And it's a very small minority that want to stay on this path with God. So if I align myself with folks, in the temple with more experience in this Torah class, then it gives me it gives me faith. Others give me faith. I just thought of that, and it's so true. Maybe the idea of going to God directly is just too much, but if I can be around those who are faithful, then I can take part of that. I can be a piece of that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
one way of looking
At
at it.
all.
That's right. That's
But
exactly right.
John?
if you read, and I may be getting ahead of things, but if you read forward the next two verses or so, that pretty well explains that God paved the way
Exactly.
Mhm.
for humans to go forth.
Mhm.
Isn't that what that sort of tells us?
Yes.
Hmm.
That's another way of looking at it. That's how you tie it together. And if you look at a lot of the different stories in Torah, then you would say, oh, wait, you know, a lot of these stories are similar.
Uh-huh.
You know, right? All the get-go in Genesis with humility, those who lose their humility, well, my goodness, they want to be as tall as heaven in their behavior and thinking.
Yeah, and
It's the
continuing
Tower
what
of Babel.
Marty's you're saying, the issue of humility. If we read verse 4,
Yes,
don't
exactly.
say in your heart, when God is the one that defeated them, you'll say, oh, because I was righteous, God brought me to get this land and to annihilate everyone that was there. Don't say that you did it, because
That's
that's not the
That
truth.
you did.
that's right. So it's so, you know, when we give the Nobel Prize for whatever, for
Yeah.
To
whatever,
whom?
very few of them ever say thanks to God.
The bottom line right there. Yes.
So what we're reading here is that even very famous people should show that humility sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard
Humility.
to do if you're a scientist.
Well, no, well,
I'm just
no,
saying, I'm just,
it is not hard. It is the willingness to give up, to let your faith go.
yeah.
Yeah, and in
It has
his
nothing to
case,
do with, and in doing so, you put yourself first.
right, if you take the scientist down, Donna, is that they say God help them. Now use another word like luck, okay? I was
I
lucky
agree
to
with you.
find this. I was lucky to have these people working with
Right.
me. And they use the word luck maybe, but it was not just me and my work that did this. There was something else happening around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm,
Well,
Okay, if we
maybe
continue, sorry.
yes, Don. I mean, come
they
on. Oh, it was
may
you, Michael. I'm sorry.
um you mentioned that Nobel Peace Prize winners don't mention God.
Quite
Uh,
often.
well, maybe they do, but you don't hear it.
It's
Right,
possible. It's possible, but you know, maybe early on, since many of them, there was more emphasis on religion in those days. Maybe they did, but we don't know. We
Yeah.
just don't know. It's a good point, Michael, that they might
Yeah.
have,
yeah,
but it's never stated to the public.
yeah. And
That
these
that's
guys,
where that's what makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're atheists, or they don't use the word
Only in
God.
recent years. Only in recent years, Donna.
Oh, okay. Okay.
well, there are still some people that will say,
You know,
and as I
when I
mentioned, they might say another word. As I said, luck, if you want to describe luck, see what happened.
Yeah.
Or I was fortunate that.
Destiny.
Right.
Destiny, yeah, or
Okay.
something like that. And this continues further. So if we continue reading,
Excuse me, before we continue further, Michael wanted to say something.
I'm so sorry, Michael.
oh it's just slipped. Thank you, Marty, but it slipped. I don't remember. I don't know what it was. It just went away
It
like
was,
that.
you
Okay.
said that maybe they said it in their heads or in their minds, and they don't say it out loud.
Or maybe we didn't hear them.
Yeah, and that's a possibility, but it's interesting as to over time that has changed. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Oh, yes, Michael, and then
Yeah.
Chris.
Um, the the rabbi who I had, and still a good friend of mine in Hollywood, mentioned that one of the sermons talked about if you do good, if you say something good, mention it. Don't keep it a secret. And if you make a prayer, make it. If you make a prayer, a prayer for a certain person, you tell them that you've made that prayer. Don't keep it a secret so they know. And the reason for that is that should be passed on, so other people would follow suit and create an environment of decency and goodness among people.
That's a good point. Very nice. Well stated, Michael.
Thank you.
Yes, Chris.
Yes, it's basically the same comment. To me, when you don't acknowledge God openly for whatever you do, that will not allow people to bring them back to center as who is the person that is responsible for this act, this miracle, this action, or whatever it is you did. It is very important to me to acknowledge God openly so that the people will know not only that you are a follower of God, but that they need to consider their ways as a good act that God did with them or through them. I don't think that any of us can take that for granted.
Or take the. Now, guys, what do we say before eating the bread or before lunch or before, I mean, those that do it, most of us do it with the challah on Shabbat. But what's the blessing?
Well, the hamotzi.
Yeah.
No, the whole thing.
You mean over
What
the
do we
wine?
say with hamotzi?
You
What
mean
do I say? The hamatzi is to give blessings, give thanks to God for the bread that we receive.
yes, that's
Exactly.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
We say, Baruch atah Adonai,
Adonai,
bless
Adonai.
you, God,
Right.
hamotzi lechem min haaretz,
Blessed be
that
God.
brings the bread out. And we
Right.
said, well, it's not that, it's the bakery that does that.
Right.
You know, but who makes the flour? Oh, the people that Arthur Flour does. And who brings
Sure.
the bread out of that? So we cannot brag about what we do without acknowledging that there are other forces that
Yeah.
help us do those things.
So that's something to keep in the back of our minds, I guess. I think that's why it's being stated in again, because we've read this in other words previously in Torah.
Yeah, and we say, Bore pri agafen.
Agafen. That's right.
You know, the one that creates the fruit
Fruit
of
the vine.
the vine. It's not us that, you know, step on the grapes and made the wine, but before that, something had to cause to do that.
Yeah.
And that's in the first few chapters in Genesis.
Right.
So you see how we're now thinking in early, going back, and the examples here, at the end of verse 5, it says, fulfill the oath that the Lord made to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we're going way, way back in time, linking this whole story to the opening.
Right.
By the way, that is literary genius. There are a lot of book novels that do it the same way.
Yeah.
And other non-fictional writers sometimes will do that. It'll tie in the the last sentence will tie into the first sentence of their passage.
Yes.
You know, in verse 6, I'm looking at,
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
oh, sorry.
So keep that in mind. Any other comments about that?
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, yes, David, please.
Yeah, I think this discussion opens the larger question of a relationship that each of us has with God. And mine goes back to when I was a child, before my bar mitzvah. I believed in a very personal relationship with God, that one could talk with God, one could reason with God, one could argue with God, not so much yell at God, but to argue with God. And over the course of my life, I've never lost that. I still believe that, and it's very, very personal with me. I'm not a scientist, although occasionally I believe in the methods of science, but occasionally I like to take science for a walk in the desert and things that people normally may not do with that. But I do believe in a personal relationship with God, and I always have. I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you for sharing, David.
That is good. Thank you, David.
That's right. Any other comments? Now we can start with verse 6.
I'll take that.
Okay,
Now then,
Michael, why don't you read all the way
to the end
to
of
the end of verse
10.
14.
Oh, okay. Now then, that is not for any virtue of yours that the Lord your God has given you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, never forget how you provoked the Lord your God to anger in the wilderness from the day that you left the land of Egypt until you reached this place. You have continued defiant toward the Lord at Horeb. You so provoked the Lord that the Lord was angry enough with you to have destroyed you. You had ascended to the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord had made with you. And I strayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, eating no bread and drinking no water. And the Lord gave me the 2 tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of God, with your exact words that the Lord had addressed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. At the end of those 40 days and 40 nights, the Lord gave me 2 tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. And the Lord said to me, hurry, go down from here at once, for the people whom you brought out of Egypt have acted wickedly. They have had quick to stray from the path that I enjoined upon you then. They have made themselves a molten image. The Lord further said to me, I see that this is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, and I will destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make you a nation far more numerous than they.
Okay. So I know a few years back we discussed this at great length. What do you remember from all of this?
Well,
Is Moses recollecting which story? Let's start with that.
yeah. Yeah, that's the stiff neck is what got onto in the very beginning, that's used with a pharaoh, or stiff-necked.
Mm-hmm.
Stubborn.
Yeah. Or here, the commentary is a person who will not accept criticism or change. He cannot look behind him and see how his actions have led him to where he finds himself. Stiff-necked.
In Hebrew, the translation for stiff neck became being stubborn.
Okay, all right. Somebody
It's
said that.
yeah. So this answers the question, the beginning that says, don't think because you were righteous and good guys, that's why God is giving you the land. Because you have not. You complained since coming out of Egypt nonstop for 40 years. And when I went up to the mountain, you
Right.
created a calf. And so, do you think that because you were such good guys, I'm giving you the land and I'm saving you from your enemies? It's I, God, that did that and decided to do
Right.
that and so forth. You did nothing. You, on the contrary, were a piece of whatever. Yeah, so to think that we are so strong and so knowledgeable and so this and so this. And we know even today, we face some people, I won't mention names, that think, oh, I did it and I created and I this and I that. Well, it's something to think about it.
Yeah. It is, and that's what it's getting after. This is the story of the golden calf, and what before we read on, what happened? It's very descriptive of the beginning of the story from Moses' perspective, because he went up on the mountain and he saw God write the first tablets, and so it was a finger with fire on the stone. Yes, Chris.
It's heartbreaking for me to think he's been with us from the moment we left Egypt. He's walked with us, he fed us, he protected us. And the moment Moses went away from them, we forgot. I don't
Yeah.
think we were so much arrogant, but we just forgot who had delivered us, who had helped us. And we decided we were going to make us somebody else's that will maybe do the same job. I don't know, and it is so human for us to, God just deliver us, and here we are doing the same thing again, or worse,
Yeah.
because we forget that we're not of our own selves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Correct. And that's the theme throughout. That's one of the themes in the entire Torah.
Yeah.
But but they still have, this was a very, very small chunk of their lives. The big part of their life was as slaves.
Yeah.
And to have that slave mentality, it would have probably been difficult,
Right.
perhaps, for them. And that's why they had to wander around for so many years to get new generations coming in and then the oral history following.
Yeah.
But yeah, we needed them to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that was their excuse. But what is ours?
Right.
In a way that, we forget. We forget so easily that God is still our protector, is still our God.
Yeah, it's like when we light the Sabbath candles, keep and remember.
Right.
To keep and
There you go.
remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got it. You've got
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Any other comments? The question is often raised, is Moses trying to aggrandize himself? In other words, is he praising himself, saying how important he has been? Some people have felt that way in the way he's speaking. I did this, I did that, and so forth.
No, it doesn't say that. It
No, it
doesn't say
doesn't.
that he did.
Rabbi Miri is very correct.
He did not say, it reminds who said that, who did that. On the
That's right.
contrary, Moshe, we called him Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe our rabbi. But we say that he was the most humble person that ever.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. And yet,
Yeah,
he says in verse 9, I had ascended the mountain to receive the tablets. I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, suffering from not eating and drinking water. And that God gave me the two tablets. And I see that this is a stiff-necked people. Uh, you know, the, uh, God says that, and Moses says that too. So some people, that's why I say that but Rabbi Miri is very correct, it's underscoring the fact that he qualifies these statements by saying that it was with, that it was God who gave me, it was God who was angry. It was it was uh, to remind everyone that it's that Moses brought the people out of the land of Egypt, but at God's behest.
Moses is just telling the story.
exactly,
But exactly,
exactly.
but those who say that it's Moses, it's self-aggrandizement, it really isn't. He's
Well,
saying this is how it unfolded. That's right.
He's
And that's what
frustrated.
Rabbi Miri was getting after.
Yeah.
Yes, Donna, you were going
Yeah,
to.
I was just saying
Yeah,
he's
really.
fed up. He's frustrated.
Right.
He's human.
Yeah.
And I think he did that just to see how Moses responded. I don't think really God intended that, but it was just another way to say, what are you going to do about it, Moses?
Well, in a way, Chris, that may be part of it. What you just said may be part of the
Yeah.
story as it unfolds. If somebody else would care to read verses 15 all the way through the end of 21.
well, I would say that um, God had put Moses in charge to do this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think he was trying to convey when he did these things, the people did not realize that God had put him in charge to do these things.
I think you are
Michael, the
Right.
thing is that they did not believe of the existence of God. So there is a combination here. They didn't believe that there is a God. They don't believe that God told him to do that. You see, so both things they were completely clueless about. They did not learn about God until, as Donna reminds us, the entire generation was obliterated.
right. They didn't live through those events.
Yeah, and Michael, do you remember when did God when did God tell Moshe to do all those things? Do you remember when that happened?
No, no.
Yes, you do. You remember the bush?
Yeah, the burning, yeah.
The burning bush?
You're right. That's the time that God nominated him to do all this stuff.
Mhm.
And what Moshe says, I'm sorry, who am I? I cannot speak, I cannot do, I cannot this, I cannot that. So he was forced
Right.
to do that. So you're right. They did not realize that. They couldn't. They couldn't. As Chris said, they forgot. They also were, they did not that. They did not know about that issue.
And I think Rabbi Miri is hitting on another important concept, that as Moses, or let's put it this way, as the story about Moses unfolds over all the trials and tribulations, little by little, it's coming to a head late in his life that he needs to tell the story the way he has seen it to the children of those people. So it could be passed on to future generations. And he has grown, and I think he grows into this phase where he can now turn around and say, let me remind you about all these things, but it's important for you too to remember them. He's not just telling them a story, he wants them to remember the story. He wants us to remember the story. He wants us to turn around and tell it to our children, and maybe even our grandchildren. He's coming to realize all of this. And we hear this in other ways, on Saturdays and the high holidays and like that. So maybe this is why Moses is coming to this realization and trying to pass that realization on to the rest of the people. Just think about that for a while as we read on. Anyone want to read at this point?
I'll be happy to read.
Thank you, David. Okay,
Okay, from
if
15.
you would read from 15 all the way through the end of 21.
Okay, so I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire. Although I have a difficulty with that because I know that Mount Sinai is not a volcano, but anyway, mount burned with fire, and the two tables of the covenant were in my two hands. And I looked, and behold, ye have sinned against the Lord your God. He had made you a molten calf. Ye had turned aside quickly out of the way which the Lord hath commanded you. And I took hold of the two tables and cast them out of my two hands and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before the Lord, as the first 40 days and 40 nights I did neither eat bread nor drink water, because of all your sin which ye sinned, in doing that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him. For I was in dread of the anger and hot displeasure wherewith the Lord was wroth against you to destroy you. But the Lord hearkened unto me that time also. Okay, and moreover, the Lord was very angry with Aaron, who have destroyed him. And I prayed for Aaron also at the same time. And I took your sin, the calf which ye had made, and burnt it with fire, and beat it into pieces, grinding it very small until it was fine as dust. and I cast the dust thereof into the brook that descended out of the mount.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any comments?
Mm.
A little bit lost, I think, as to whom Moses is talking.
He's speaking to the people, the Israelites,
Okay,
as a whole, the whole congregation.
okay, that's right. He's down from the mountain by that time.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like before he dies. It's sort
Yeah,
of,
he's recollecting his past and like that.
Right.
Any comments about this?
Mm.
so Moses, is basically he fasted for those 40 days and 40 nights.
Mhm.
Right.
And then it says 18, I threw myself down before the Lord, eating no bread and drinking no water for the 40 days and 40 as before, as before what? As before because of the great wrong you had committed? As before.
Just let me find, what verse are you looking at?
That would be 18.
Okay.
Down
Yes.
after eating no bread and drinking no water, 40 days and 40 nights, as before, dash.
Right. Uh,
If you will, it could be literary, because if you go back uh, in verse 9, it's you don't have to do it. If you want to, you can. In verse 9, it says Moses is saying, "I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, eating no bread and drinking no water." So he's repeating it.
Yeah.
And
well,
we read
let me
that
check this
earlier.
out. Donna,
Yeah.
it's a very good question, and I am not sure I can answer what does it mean as before. Um, it's
When we've read in the past that Moses sometimes supplicates himself, and sometimes Aaron did too, at various
Yeah,
times,
right.
when the Israelites have sinned.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different examples prior to this of
And
them uh, going against God. So is the as before are all those circumstances?
and my answer would be interpret this. Now you
I
have
mean,
two
in my
ways.
mind.
Now you have two ways to look at this, and both are fine. But in his supplication, he's also praying for God to forgive the Israelites for what they
Right.
do. And that happens innumerable times.
It's
And he
almost
was
like
in drag. Go ahead.
Okay, two people. John, why don't you go ahead?
John.
I'm sorry.
You started to say something.
Well, only it's almost like an atonement, except would
Yeah.
be as if he atoned for sins that had not yet occurred.
Well, no, these were things that did occur, and afterwards, to prevent God
Okay.
doing for God for doing it, he intercedes in these matters, and he 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 throws himself down on the ground and
Right.
pleads to God, not please spare these people, for they don't understand, they're stiff-necked, etc., etc., etc.
Hmm.
I need to check it out. I cannot find
You,
anything that
but
makes sense
well,
here. I think, I don't think, forget it.
so what does Moses wind up doing to the Israelites who build the golden calf and that? What happens?
Can I go to 19 just for a second?
Well, before you do, think about, because your answer to my question is going to give you
Oh,
a better understanding of what you just raised.
oh, okay.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah, for one reason I'm thinking he's lost his way and he became angered and destroyed the tablets. Is that what you were asking?
He does that, but then after the golden
Okay.
calf is
And
destroyed,
that was making him look no better than the rest of them because he
well,
sinned by responding in anger toward the situation. So they were all back to square one,
but
pretty much.
yes, but what did he do to those people?
What was your question?
What did the Levites wind up doing to the people who were involved
Oh,
in that, in the golden calf story?
okay.
Do you remember? Moses takes it upon himself to lead the Levites and
Well,
the Levites,
I
and
know that,
they go out and kill those people
yeah.
who participated in that.
Well, even the Levites were in trouble.
Yes,
So he did say he did cry out to God for Aaron and well, the time was he only the priest. So,
yes.
um,
But at that
well,
time,
he was the one that encouraged them to do the calf, right?
no kidding.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were befuddled. Why was Aaron spared?
Hmm.
Well, only because
Now,
Moses intercede.
that's the point. He's now saying that he interceded. He prayed.
Yeah, only because God, I mean,
Yes.
Moses went before God and asked for Aaron to be spared. But
Right.
And that's going to happen again in the story.
I think that John has a point.
many times,
Yeah.
every day.
John,
Yes,
you
Rabbi
talk
Mary.
about atonement, and the atonement issue during Yom Kippur is there is prostrating and there is
Ah,
asking
there
and
is.
there is begging, and that might have been what Moshe is doing now. um, you know, and it says, because I didn't want God to be mad. I'm begging, I'm praying, I'm prostrating, um, it's a little bit too much, 40 days and 40 nights, but the entire thing is a story, so it could be. Um, I'm going to try to find out if there is more to it. But I think that you touched on something that could be very, make sense into, as it says, as I did it before.
Have any of you ever been to a Yom Kippur service?
Yeah.
Sure.
Many have, but have you ever seen a rabbi prostrate himself in front of the ark, and then the
Yeah.
cantor does the same thing,
And I
That
right?
was
is
in a
right.
verse
And
that
recite a
everyone
prayer.
did. Anyone did in the audience as well, if they wanted.
There are some people who do that.
Oh,
But-
yeah, that's,
But I've
It's
seen
not-
this before myself. That's right.
oh,
It's-
yeah, I've seen it for 80 years.
Yeah.
Before I came here, in New York and in Hollywood. The cantor, the rabbi, and I was usually, I came up to pick them off the ground.
The first time you see it, that's what you think is going on. And then you hear the prayers they're reciting.
Yeah, he is our intercessor, right?
Not everybody has seen that. Not everybody has witnessed that. But when you do, you understand they're going through the same motions that that Moses and Aaron have done during the Torah. And Moses is trying to make us remember all of these things. The numbers of time that he had to intercede on part of the people. And incidentally, we don't even think about something being necessary to intercede in Jewish religion. That when we pray, there's a direct telephone line. There's a direct connection to God that we don't need. Like in other religions, they may need somebody to intercede for them.
Well, this is why we have a personal relationship, each and every one of
Yes.
us.
And
have
that's
this
why,
person.
exactly, Michael. That's right. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I didn't realize you were going to say.
That's okay.
What
That's
else
all
were you
right.
going to say, Mike?
No, you said it for me. Thank you.
Okay. But David even said that he has this personal relationship. And when
And
we,
I think that's very important
yes,
because, uh, if you're going to, let's say, you're going to see a doctor, and I'll use myself as an example. When I'm going to the doctor, I make a prayer privately, and that everything should turn out right. And so there's the importance of having a personal relationship with God,
yeah,
because it for me it helps me get through what I'm going to be doing.
okay. And you had the right hand of Betty on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi
Hi,
everybody.
Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Chavez, everybody.
Hi,
Thank
Betty.
you.
Hi,
Hi,
Betty.
Thank
Betty.
you.
Now, yeah, she started a whole thing there. Okay.
There you go. So there's something to be said about this. But wait a minute, we're far from finished with this discussion. Don't I think you had something you wanted to mention?
Well, that Moses dreaded. For I was in dread of the Lord's fierce anger against you.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had seen it before and before.
That's right.
Just an interesting word, to dread. I wonder what that is in Hebrew, dread.
Rabbi Murray, what is the word to dread in Hebrew?
Well, it could be לפחד, to be afraid of,
Yeah.
Okay.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. He was fearful because he'd seen the fierceness of this Lord, of this God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Moses, right? He doesn't even get to the promised land. So
That's correct.
That's way ahead of the story, but we were talking about egos and this and that. And
Yeah.
so, even if we may do all these great, wonderful things in the name of the Lord, we're not going to always get a payoff. We have to come from a place of almost non-self, not expecting applause or stat,
Yeah. It's sort of that opens a discussion about Buddhism.
Well, yeah, like, yeah.
No, seriously.
I just find him
That's right.
remarkable, though, to not even all that stuff, and
That's right.
breaking those tablets. He was punished for that.
These are the different things that he's fast to lose his temper in some ways.
Hmm.
And if we go back through the Levite clan, if you will, going back way, way back, they're one of the first to always lose their temper in the different stories, which is interesting. So I persist.
Huh.
I wanted to say something that
Yes,
is
David.
way off the subject that I've never really noticed before in Michael's room. He has this most beautiful musical staff with a treble clef that displays his love of music and what music means to him. I just wanted to point that out.
Yes.
I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Lovely people, I'm going to have to leave you.
Okay, John.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
See you next week.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Have a good week then.
Yes, have a
And
very good week.
in our
Bye all.
faith, the music that Judaism has produced over the millennia is still so beautiful and so meaningful and so much a part of what we do. So I really wanted to point that out.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah. David, thank you. And it's a funny thought. I thought was thinking about something uh, the this week or just the other day. I have a friend who is a snowbird. He plays piano and organ, and he just came back here from Iowa. And I asked him how his wife Diane is, and she came down a couple of years ago very swiftly with Alzheimer's disease. She was very active, okay, and now she doesn't know where she is. But and she used to, she's a piano player, an amateur, just sit down and play a little bit, and she forgets everything. She doesn't know what she's doing. And Victor, her husband, just takes care of her. But the first place she went to was the piano. She did she I started to think she can't feed herself. She can't do anything by herself. She forgot everything. But she sat down and started to play a little bit on the piano. And I started to think about that. I said, and then I started to understand that the power of music is much more powerful than we think, than we really think. I think that because music is in every. Why is music? I am so sorry to get off the track here, but why is music in every form of our being? Every part. There's music when you march into war and religion. It's everywhere, and I think that music has the power to cure diseases and so many things that we don't understand yet. And that's what I started to think about. But I thought that you'd be interested to hear that, Marty.
And
It is interesting.
And to continue
And
that
thank you
theme,
for those words. I appreciate that.
Thank
to
you. Thank
continue
you,
on the
Dovie.
theme just a little bit, my grandmother also had Alzheimer's disease, as did my father. And one day, my grandfather came into the house after doing some shopping, and he found Grandma sitting in the living room trying to play the piano. And he sat down in the chair and cried his eyes out. And the meaning of that. And so I think, Michael, the music means so much more to you as it does to me.
Agree.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people, and when you say music, people think of the soothing, it can also soothe.
Well, our heart, even our own bodies make tones and,
Yeah,
the beating of the heart,
yes, that's correct.
like with the Japanese, is it Tojo? Those big drums. I went to one of those performances and it was just like hard to describe, but that boom, like the heart, but really loud. It just,
Yeah,
it does move you and
yes.
it takes you somewhere else. So, anyway.
So, with that, any other discussion about what we have just read? Well, let's read on. Who would like to read it this time? Uh, Chris, would you like to read? Would you feel up to reading?
I will.
Okay. Why don't you read verses 22?
To 24.
No, I'm going to say through the end of 29.
The end of where? 29.
29.
Okay. All right. Then again, you provoked the Lord at Taberah and at Massah and the Kibroth Hattava. And when the Lord set you on from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and take possession of the land that I am giving you, you flouted the command of the Lord your God and did not put your trust in him and did not obey him. As long as I have known you, you have been defiant toward the Lord. When I lay prostrate before the Lord, those 40 days and 40 nights, because the Lord was determined to destroy you, I prayed to the Lord and said, O Lord God, do not annihilate your very own people, who you redeem in your majesty and who you freed from Egypt with a mighty hand. Give thought to your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and pay no heed to the stubbornness of this people. It is wickedness and the sinfulness, else the country from which you freed us will say it was because the powerless to bring them into the land, and he promised them, and because he rejected them, that out, he brought them out to have them die in the wilderness. Yet they are your very own people, you who freed them from your great mighty, and you lost out and your outstretched arm. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Hmm.
And so, any comments about this?
Oh wow, that is heavy. It's got a lot of history there. Like he said from the very beginning, he fought to try to reason with them, try to make him understand what God was asking of them, make them believe in God more than anything, believe in God, have faith in him. And I can imagine how frustrated he was that all of the stuff was just worthless. But his courage was amazing. Moses' courage was amazing. That he didn't give up. He saw God's heart that God didn't want to do this either, I guess, because God really didn't have to ask him, um, go pray for you people, go, you know, bring him back to me. It was just God's, I mean, Moses' love for his people as well as God. And that's beautiful. Most of us will want to throw the rope away, bring the rope and hang him, kind of.
Yeah. I think, thanks, Chris. I
Okay.
think this passage here refers back to the Pharaoh, and that would be 28.
Mm-hmm.
And else the country from which you were freed, that was the big deal, going back and forth with the plagues, my God, your God, and going back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
And here, it says, it's going to let these people know. You're going to think, well, you were powerless to bring them out of that land you had promised them. And you
Yes,
rejected
that is one
them,
of the
and
things.
they died, So that was an important thing too, not just the Moses and the people, but this past, give them one leg to stand up
Bless you.
on, to put more and still more doubt.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know.
Any other comments about this? I'll ask a question. Who also argues with God? I'll give you a hint. In the book
Who
of Genesis,
also are going to give you a hand?
Abram.
Abraham.
Yeah, Abram.
What story is that?
And
What
Wendy
is
did
he?
on the day of the solar eclipse.
Excuse, I didn't. I'm sorry, David. I didn't hear you.
I was just trying to say that on the day of the solar eclipse, Wendy had a big argument with God when God didn't want me to see it. And she yelled
Okay.
at him and then won her point.
That's funny.
And so, Donna, what you mentioned Abraham, the story of Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
What specifically, in general, do you remember about that?
In real life, I think we all have, wanting or not, argue with God.
So, what
It's,
does God want to do to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah?
He wants
oh,
to,
definitely. That was Lot.
It's
Yeah,
the story of Lot,
Lot,
yes.
but it was also Abraham, right? The one that, I don't know if it was an argument, was kind of like,
It's a discussion, if you will.
yeah, it
What
was
if,
not,
he's trying to make God think about things. God still does what he
right.
wants to do.
That's
But
right.
maybe
That's right. Yeah.
maybe the discussion, if it lasted 40 days and 40 nights for Abraham, maybe God
Right.
would have heard it a little better. I don't know. But it reminds you of that you do, God can change his mind about things,
Changing
and
his mind.
sometimes
That was
not.
more like it. Yeah.
That's right.
Changing his mind. Yeah.
And so we enter a prayer, and I guess 40 days and 40 nights is more not just a prayer, of anything. Moses is giving him his full body and soul into
Right.
this effort to plead on behalf of
Well,
the Israelites.
well, that when you said that God could change his mind, this is very evident between the festival of uh, um, of um, of Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. See, because he'll write down who shall live, who shall die, among other things, on the Rosh Hashanah, and the period between that and Yom Kippur is the time that you pray in the event that he wrote down who will die, that decree will change. So
Right.
there's a there's an example of God changing. could change his mind.
Yeah. Very good, Michael. Very good.
Hmm.
Any other comments? Did you, anything you want to say about, we've spoken about all the trials in the wilderness as learning experiences. We've discussed those. And now any other comments? Who would like to read next? Because then we'll go on to Deuteronomy 10. We still have a little time left. Oh, well, actually, we don't. We don't.
No,
Why don't we end it at this point?
yeah.
Because we don't have enough time. By the time we finish reading it, we won't have time to discuss it. But any other comments about what we've read today or we've mentioned today?
Hmm.
And then we'll go on for next week.
Sounds good.
We are no longer going to 12 o'clock.
Oh,
No, Michael, the group had decided, and a few, I think you and David said whatever the group wants. I may
Okay.
be wrong at that, but the majority
Okay.
wanted an hour and a half, and so
Okay.
we'll make it an hour and a half. Doesn't matter.
That's fine.
I get all charged up, and I can go for
yeah,
hours.
my brain shuts off after.
So, Rabbi Miri, did you want to make any comments about what Moses has said or things like that?
Not really. I think we covered quite a bit.
Okay. And any comments or any announcements or anything like that?
I have something, Marty, if I may.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm now looking for a another venue to do a Stand with Israel fundraising concert. So if anybody would have any idea, please let me know. Thank you, Marty.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Chris.
Mark, count me in. Michael, count me in.
Call you?
No, you can count with me.
Oh.
Anything you need.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm checking out. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Bye, Chris.
So
Shabbat shalom,
everyone,
bye-bye.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
and
Shabbat.
I'll see you next week.
Yes, you will.
Yes,
Okay, be
sir,
well.
you will. Bye-bye.
You
Okay,
will.
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.